Hello everybody, this is NetTechies. Today's topic is BGP route aggregation. We do have a lot of options when it comes to BGP. We can really fine tune our traffic. A lot of traffic engineering options we have. So I'll try to take a look at route aggregation. What are the hidden options you might not know already? So this will help you during the exam or your job. So first of all, let's review the topology. We do have three routers, R1, 2, and 3. Each of them, they are operating under their own AS number, AS 100, 200, and 300 for each router. And on the R1, I have loopback addresses, loopback 1, 2, 3, 4, and each of them have 192.168.1.0 address all the way up to 4.0. So let me show IP interface brief. As you can see, we do have these loopback addresses on R1, and R3 we have the same loopback addresses in its routing table. So as you can see, we do have these routes received via BGP. So first option, let's take a look at the first option, summary only, and then we'll try to cover the rest of the option. This might be the long video, so you can pause it and watch it again sometime. Maybe, I don't know if I'll try to split it into the multiple videos. So I don't know yet. So let's go to the R2 to do the operations. So currently we do have nothing special configured except just normal redistribute connected routes and the neighbor AS numbers to have the BGP neighborship. So I will go to R2. So let's go under router BGP 200. So we'll be looking at first option, summary only. So I say I do have these commands in my notepad to save some time. So I'll try to have everything combined under one route. So I'll say aggregate address 192.168.0.0 subnet mask summary only. So if I do show IP BGP, so now you see instead of seeing all these separate routes, we only see one bigger route /21, and we can still ping 192.168.1.0, okay, and 2.0 and so on. This is the first thing. So now why do we need keyword ASSet? So right now we just did this command, but if I do show IP BGP on R3, you see for this network 182 network, we see this is coming from AS200, but we don't see AS100 in a path. If I do show IP route, show IP BGP, we see that all of these routes are coming from AS100. Okay, so let me clear IP BGP all just to clear the neighborship, and let me do show IP BGP. They're all coming from AS100. Okay, so now if I do show IP BGP on this, again, if after refreshing the BGP we only see AS200. So to fix that, let's go to the router BGP 200. Okay, let me do show run section BGP to see what do we have configured. Yeah, so I'll repeat the same command again, but with the AS set keyword. What it will do is it will set original AS number. So instead of seeing just 200 here, we will start seeing proper path 200 and 100, and then it's connected to 100. So now if I do show IP BGP again after doing the clear BGP soft, we see the proper path now. So now you know what AS set means in this. So if I do see this route is here, okay, but what if we want to have a conditional advertisement? For example, right now if we do have show IP route BGP, we have 1.0, 2.0, 3.0. What if we want to summarize this route only if we do have 1.0 and 2.0 present. If these routes are not present, we will not summarize these routes. Okay, so let's do that. So first of all, let me show you what we have configured. Show running config section BGP. Okay, so let me go to this router BGP country. Let me remove this configuration. Okay, because we will be starting fresh. Okay, if I go here and show IP BGP, let me refresh it. So I have removed the configuration that we did just for summary and AS set. So as you can see, this is what it looks like right now on R2. And if I do show IPBGP, we see all the routes back again on R3 because we removed number 1 and 2 configuration. So now, what's the conditional route advertisement? So the conditional route advertisement is, as long as we have, let's say, show IP route BGP X key BGP. So right now we do see all of the routes are present on the R2. So we want to do the condition if this route goes missing, we do not want to send the summary route to R3. Okay, we'll do that just now. So first of all, let me do show IP access list. So I do have these under my access list, standard access list. Let me remove, I think, 2.0. So show IP access list. So what we will be doing now is we'll check if this is present in R2's table. If it is present, then only we will send summary route to R3. So you see the routes, you will see this in a moment. I already have show IP, show route map. I already have a route map called advertise-map, which is matching for IP access list loopbacks. As you can see, this access list, which is checking for this address. So what I will do is I will go to config router BGP 200 and I'll copy paste the exact same command until here, but we'll say that we want to check for the route map advertise map. Okay, summary. Um, yeah, I'll just say set, not summary only. I'll show you what I mean in a minute. So I'll also show running config section BGP. So now we're trying to, just to remind you, we're trying to cover the advertise map keyword. So we are saying we want to aggregate these addresses and set AS number, original AS number 100, only if this route map condition is true. What does this route map says? This route map is saying I'm checking for the access list loopback. So we're saying as long as we have this route into R2's database, R2's routing table, we will aggregate the address. Okay, and right now we do have 1.0. So now on R3, if I say clear IP BGP all soft, now we see this route advertisement, the summary route is present. We're getting this summary route. Okay, so now reason why we are getting the summary route is because we do have this present in R2's table. Show IP route BGP 1.0. Okay, so we're checking for 1.0. So let me go to 1.0 is loopback 1 on R1. So let me go to R1 interface loopback 1. I shut down. What will happen is now R2 will say I do not have route to 1.0. Let me show you. Yeah, 1.0 is gone. And now R2 will say 1.0 is not there. I will stop sending this summary route that you see /21 on R3 because the condition is not met. So if I do show IP BGP, you see I have this route gone, but I see other routes 3, 2, and 4. Okay, so yeah, that's the advertise map. I'll show you again. Show just to make it clear. Show running config section BGP that we are saying we will send summary route only if route map this condition is true, and advertise map route map is saying that I'm checking for show IP access list. I'm checking for this. Now since this is gone from R2's database, we stop seeing the summary route in R3. So let's bring it back. I'll just say no shutdown on R1 loopback. So this route starts appearing, and you see now we do not have the route summary route /21 route. If I do show IP BGP again, this route just came back up. So take your time. I know it might be confusing in the beginning, but you will know once you start practicing. Hello guys, now we will try to cover our fourth point, which is supress map. So what it will do is it will stop advertisement of the route based on if it is present in the router's database or not. So again, you can take a recap of the topology we have. R1 has these loopback interfaces with the /32. So currently, if I do show IP BGP, we see 1.0, 2.0, all of the routes are present in its routing table. So let's go on R2. So I'll say I want to have IP access list standard. I'll call this press this. Let's name it this, and I'll say we want to permit 192.168.4.0. So we will matching for the last address, and I'll say exit out of it. So now let's make a route map. So just to recap, if you don't know already, access list is just to identify the traffic. Let's say we want to identify this. A route map is what to do with it. Okay, so let's call it supress map, and I'll say permit 10, and I'll say match IP address, and if I hit question mark, we can use the name of the IP access list because we just created IP access list name as supress this. So I'll copy paste it and I will exit out of it. Okay, so now we are just trying to stop this route from the advertisement. So I'll go to router BGP 200 and I'll say aggregate address, and I have it on my clipboard this, and if I hit question mark, you see a couple of options here. So you see the suppress map says conditionally filter more specific routes from update. So we will be removing the route 4.0 when we are sending it to R3, and I'll say suppress map, and then if I hit question mark, name a route map for suppression. So as you see, we created a route map called supress map. I'll just copy it and paste it here, and let's hit enter. And now if I do show IP BGP, you see 4.0 is gone now. Okay, so in this section we'll try to cover attribute map. So I'm on R2, so if I do show, this is what we have, pretty standard configuration. If I do show IP BGP on the R3, this is what we see. These are the routes coming from R1. So on R2, we're trying to cover 0.5 attribute map. So we'll be setting sort of a route tag on R2, and that will be populated on R3. So I'll say route map. Let's call it attribute map. Okay, permit 10. I'll say set community community 100 colon 1. Okay, exit out of here. Now I'll go to router BGP 200 and I'll say aggregate address, so we can combine this address all four into one, this, and I'll say attribute map. I should, oh sorry, attribute map. I'll show you what it says when we hit a question mark. So attribute map, set attribute for the aggregate. Okay, so I'll copy it from here, attribute map, and then we'll put the name of the route map, which was attr underscore map, that you can see here, attr underscore map. And I'll say this, and let's also say summary only. So if I do show IP BGP, maybe summary only doesn't work with this, but let's do show IP BGP, show IP BGP, and if I see this, we don't have the community, but let's say neighbor 10t00.1 send community. I check it now. Okay, give me a moment. Okay, it just took some time, but I see the community here, and if I do show IP route BGP this, I also see community on the R3 side. So let me show you the show running config just as a recap. Section BGP. We said that we want to aggregate this address. I mean, aggregate doesn't mean anything here because we see individual routes still. If I, oh, okay, so yeah, maybe summary only worked. So it's just that BGP is super slow. It takes time to reflect the changes. So we said we want to aggregate these addresses into just one bigger address /21, and we said we want to have the attribute map this. So if I do show IP BGP route 168.1.0, you see the community here. Okay, and if I just show you the route map attribute map, show route map attribute map, you see we're setting the communities 655.3601, and R3 is seeing the same community here. And we have the single route /21 as compared to on R2 we'll have individual route for these guys, because R2 is summarizing the route for R3. And that's it.